Welcome! This is a deep dive lesson designed to help you absolutely ace your exam on ideology and media. We're going to break down exactly what it is, how it works, and why it's so important to understand.
All right, here's our roadmap. First, we'll nail down a definition for media ideology. Then, we'll see how it becomes normal. We'll cover 3 thinkers you have to know, look at some real-world examples, and finish up by exploring how dominant ideas get challenged.
So as we go, keep this one big question in the back of your mind. Does the media you watch just hold up a mirror to the world? Or is it actually helping to build that world? This is really the core of what we're getting at.
Okay, first things first. We need a really solid definition of ideology. This is the foundation for everything else.
For your exam, this is the definition to remember. It's not just one belief. It's a whole system of ideas and values that shapes how we see everything. It's the framework that makes a society tick.
And here's how you apply it. Think about a movie like The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a great story, right? But it's also pushing a very specific ideology, the American dream. It champions things like individualism and the idea that anyone can make it if they just work hard enough. The film doesn't just tell a story. It reinforces a dominant idea.
So how do these big ideas become so accepted that we don't even notice them anymore? Let's get into the mechanics of how an idea turns into just common sense. Normalization. This is a critical concept. It's the process that makes ideology invisible. The media repeats certain ideas so often that they stop feeling like a point of view and start feeling like just the way things are. They become natural. Just think about advertising. If you see ad after ad where women are in the kitchen and men are in the boardroom, well, they're doing more than selling soap. They're constantly normalizing traditional gender roles, making them seem standard and expected. Okay, this brings us to a huge term for your exam, hegemony. It's a concept from a theorist named Gramsci. And the key takeaway here is that this is about dominance through consent, not force. Powerful groups get the masses to willingly buy into their worldview.
And what's the main tool for winning that consent? It's the media. The media is what shapes public opinion so that the interests of powerful groups, say, big corporations or governments, start to look like they're in everyone's best interest.
Now, let's talk about the 3 theorists whose ideas are absolutely fundamental to this whole topic. You'll definitely need to know these names.
Here's a quick snapshot. Karl Marx linked ideology directly to economic power. Gramsci, who we just mentioned, focused on how that power works through consent, or hegemony, and Stuart Hall really drives our main question home. He argues media doesn't just reflect reality, it constructs it.
For Marx, it was pretty straightforward. The people with the money and power control the ideas. The media becomes a tool for the ruling class to promote their own interests and make them seem natural and inevitable.
Gramsci took that idea and ran with it. He was fascinated by how they pull it off. And his answer was hegemony, this process of winning consent by making the values of the powerful seem like they're universal values that benefit everybody. And then we have Stuart Hall. For him, and this is so important, the media is never just a mirror. It's more like a construction site. By choosing what to show, how to frame it, and who to represent, the media is literally building our sense of reality. Okay, so let's make this more concrete. How does this actually look in the media that you and I see every single day? Let's check out some real examples.
This is a really powerful case study for your exam. Think about media coverage of the war on drugs. By constantly framing it as a criminal problem and by disproportionately focusing on African American communities, the media helped construct a powerful and damaging link between race and crime, which reinforced existing stereotypes.
But, and this is a big but, dominant ideologies are not all powerful. They are always being resisted. Let's look at how they get challenged.
This table illustrates the difference perfectly. You have hegemonic, mainstream media on one side, which tends to reinforce the status quo. And on the other, you have counter-hegemonic media, things like independent news outlets or social movements like #Black Lives Matter that actively work to challenge those dominant narratives and offer a different way of seeing the world.
Before we recap, just a quick note.
If you want a full summary of all this, plus some practice tests to really get you ready for your exam, you can find everything over at gradeguru.nl.
All right, so let's nail down the crucial points to remember. 1. Media doesn't just reflect reality, it constructs it. That's Stuart Hall. 2. Hegemony is dominance through consent, not force. That's Gramsci. 3. Ideologies work best when they're normalized and just feel like common sense. And 4, these ideas can and are being challenged by counter-hegemonic media.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know the framework, think about the last TV show you watched, or the last news site you scrolled through. What ideology was being normalized? What was being presented as just normal? Start looking for it, because once you see it, you'll see it everywhere.